Hey guys, Miss Warren here. This morning I'm going to be demonstrating some techniques for your linear perspective city. So in all of our linear perspective drawings, we start out with two things. We're going to start out with the horizon line, which is where the earth meets the sky, and it's horizontal across the page. I'm going to put mine a little bit high up. If you put your horizon line high up, you'll kind of look more like you're walking on the city street. If you put it low down, it will be like you're standing on a hill looking down into the city. So I'm going to go ahead and put my horizon line straight across. Okay. Now, on either side of my horizon line, I'm going to put two vanishing points because we're working on 2-point linear perspective. I oftentimes like to put my vanishing points outside of my picture here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a small border around my drawing. Okay, there was a slight interruption in the video, but I'm back and I've drawn a border around the edge of my linear perspective drawing. Now this is not required. I just like doing this because a lot of times when you start putting stuff directly above or directly below your vanishing points, it starts to look a little weird. So when I put a border around the edge, that stops me from putting buildings directly above or below the vanishing point. Now I'm going to use my sketch here as a reference that I made earlier. I didn't use a ruler with this one, but I'm going to use it as a kind of reference. I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to start kind of planning things out. Now, the first thing I want to show y'all is if I have a building that is up close and low down and half off and half on the page. Whenever I'm drawing a linear perspective, I normally start with my closest stuff first and then work my way into the background because the stuff in the foreground is going to cover up the stuff in the background. So let's say I wanted a building that's half on and half off of the page, and I want it really close up here. So I'm going to draw however tall I want that building. Make sure this line is absolutely straight, vertical, up and down. This is the corner of my building. Now for this one, I'm not going to be able to see the other side. So what's going to happen is that this back line here is going to go towards the vanishing point on this side. And this forward line here will go to the vanishing point on the opposite side. So this one's a little bit different than a lot of the other buildings that I'll be doing. So there's the corner of the building kind of sticking off the page. So this line here goes to that side and that line here goes to this side. Now, if I wanted to show that it had like a little bit of a lip, like it was a roof you could stand on, I'm going to draw another line over here towards the vanishing point. If you could see that back corner, you could go down a little bit here. So this is like, you know, somebody could be standing up here on the roof and that shows the like little edge. If I wanted to thicken it out, I could extend this line just a little bit and draw kind of like the edge of the roof. Got to make sure the edge there lines up to the vanishing point. And there I have like a little edge. Now, if I wanted to do something decorative, like in my sketch, I have like a little scoop and then a down. I can freehand something that's scooped on the corner. So I'm going to do a little freehand scoop. But then from this little corner, I'm going to line that up to this opposite vanishing point here. And I'm going to draw that off the edge of the page. And then if I wanted to scoop a little bit below, I could freehand the scoop below. And then I'm going to line that up, this edge to the vanishing point. I'm going to draw that line. So there I have a little decorative edge to my building. I can erase the lines inside here. So there I have a building half on and half off the page. Now also the base of the building, I almost forgot to draw that, goes towards the vanishing point. So I'm going to line my ruler up with the base of the building, and to the vanishing point, I'm going to draw this line. Now it has to go completely off the page, and my ruler's kind of short, so I'm going to slide it back, keeping that same angle, and I'm going to go completely off the page. So there's a building below the horizon line, half on and half off of the page, that kind of peeks into there. Now here in this building, I have some arched windows. Now I freehanded those, but this time I'm going to use a ruler. So for whenever I draw a window, I'm going to draw the line closest to me. I'm going to choose how tall I want that window. I'm going to draw the line closest to me. And then from the top and the bottom of that window line, I'm going to line up to the vanishing point. I'm only using it for this building, so I know that I don't have to go beyond this building. So I'm going to have to make sure this angle lines up here. And then I'm going to draw a vertical line where I want my window to end. Now, if I just wanted a simple square window, I would keep it at that. But in my drawing here, I have some arched windows. So I'm going to show you how to do an arched window in linear perspective. So the bottom is straight on my little example there. And the front and the back are straight. So I'm going to draw my front and back lines. So my front and my back, but I want that little top arched. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freehand, and I'm going to touch the top of the lines that I've drawn and touch the sides. I'm going to put a little scoop that just cuts off the corners. So there I have an arched window in linear perspective, and I can erase these extra lines because I don't need them anymore. If I want to do another arched window, I'm going to choose how wide I want it. I'm going to draw the vertical line on either side, make it close to the same width. Make sure my lines are straight up and down. Then I'm going to draw a little arch that touches the side, the top, and the other side. Then I'm going to erase my extra lines. And there I have an arched window. Now, if I don't want to do another window here, I'm going to erase this line. I just wanted to make sure my two windows that I was keeping lined up with each other in linear perspective. I'm going to round this out a little bit more. I think I may have slanted my ruler a little bit, but that's the general idea. Now, if I do any lines on the inside of my window, if they're vertical, they need to be straight vertical up and down. If they go this way along the building, they need to line up to that vanishing point over there. So I'm going to draw, make sure it lines up to the dot. And I'm going to draw that line towards the vanishing point that way. If I want to divide it again, I scooch my ruler down, make sure it lines up with the dot over there, and draw another division. The lower these lines on the side of the building are, the more slanted up they'll be. Let's do one more division. Nope, I didn't need this line in between, so I'm going to erase that, clean that up. Now, if I wanted a little edge around there or a little windowsill, the bottom of the windowsill is going to have to line up to that vanishing point as well. So I'm going to draw another line here that's just a little bit wider and a little bit lower for the windowsill below here. Use that. Then if I want it to look correct in linear perspective, like it's sticking out from the wall, this little line between the window and the windowsill, I'm going to go back to the vanishing point on this side. Let's make sure that that's all lined up. See, it gets a little confusing when you start to get right under your dot. Okay, so we have a little bit of a windowsill sticking out here. I'm going to put a little edge on it so we can see that. Okay, now in my sketch, I drew some bushes below the windowsill, and I would just freehand those. So if you're drawing anything organic, like a tree or a bush, it's going to kind of go along the linear perspective lines, but you're going to freehand it so it looks like soft and fluffy. See, the bushes kind of generally go in that direction, but I'm not using a ruler to draw them. And then I'll erase the lines on the inside. So there I have my bushes below my arched buildings. Now, if I wanted to do a sidewalk, I'm going to say that the sidewalk's going to be about this wide. Draw a line to the vanishing point. Drawing it really light because I'm going to end up erasing sections of this. And then I'm going to go from the building to the vanishing point. Okay. So there's my beginning of my sidewalk. It goes on forever and ever at this point. But if I wanted a really long sidewalk, that's how it would go. Now, if I'm going to draw a curve of the sidewalk, like kind of where it drops down, I need another line really close to the other one. This is like where the curve, like where there's a step. Now, if I really want this to look like a step, I'm going to divide my sidewalk with vertical lines straight up and down to show that this goes straight up and down. Now, the sidewalk lines closer to the front of the page are going to be farther apart from each other. And when you get way back here, they're going to be really close together like that. So I'm going to draw a few more. I don't know if I want a sidewalk over there yet, so I'm going to just continue with this one here. See how it's slowly getting closer together as I get further away. I'm just kind of all eyeballing that. There is a technique that you can make it get closer together at a perfect rate, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it for now. Okay, so if you want your sidewalk to look flat, you're going to go to the opposite vanishing points from the top of these vertical lines. See, if you go here, this vanishing point will give the illusion that your sidewalk is like flat on the ground. Now, yet again, the closer you get to being right under the vanishing point, the kind of more tricky it gets. See, and then if I had one here, it would start going that way. So you need to take the sidewalk lines to the opposite side. So there I have this street corner. If I wanted this sidewalk, actually, I think I might erase this, and I think I want my sidewalk to kind of end at this section and be a street corner. I'm going to take the street back towards this vanishing point. And then if I wanted sidewalk lines on this side, let me make some little marks. They would go towards this vanishing point. And then I'm going to do a little line here that goes to this vanishing point because I think I want some grass in front of this building. So I'm going to leave a little space. And if I wanted to, I could do some like grass, or if you wanted to do like a fire hydrant, I would just freehand a fire hydrant. Maybe look one up from observation. Or any extra details like that. So that would be a corner of a sidewalk going on off in that direction behind the building here. So there's the beginning of the building. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for here, just so in case y'all want to explore different things, I'm going to break the video up into 10 or 15 minute segments.